Okay, now rolling. I'm gonna mute my mic so you don't hear me eating.
Alrighty. Um, we pick up with the extended session of the backstories. Ray, uh, is there anything you would have specifically done immediately following this fireball outside?
If it was still on fire and
No.
everybody had left, I would take a fire extinguisher and put it out. But
Like you'd go out and you'd extinguish the corpses?
yeah,
No,
that's
no.
done.
The, you could see a few embers here or there, but nothing that would warrant you going
You'll
out to
still like feel
extinguish
sad that
them.
it had to come to that, but
Um,
yeah.
like do you like just kind of keep Divil from the window and like don't look?
Uh, Probably
You don't.
notify whatever system security there or station security there was.
What do you
I don't.
say? Like you're
I
like
doubt
there's been an incident
there
outside
was
of
an incident outside of
apartment blah
a
blah blah. Or,
ramen complex.
yeah, yeah. It's just like
Four gang members are
yeah,
burned to death.
send like paramedics or a fire crew or something. Um,
That was Akron to be out there putting fake Molotovs smashed near them.
uh, yeah, yeah. Um,
And then just basically say sorry to the what was her name? Divil.
Divil. Yeah, like I assume you would not let her really go to the window. Like this
Yeah,
is something
don't look.
she cries a bit, and you know it's like it. Riolans are like kind of really emotional people, and they tend to not be very violent usually. But but you know like I think the main thing is like you were really badly hurt, and
Yes.
so was her mate. And like she's not gonna approve like you did a good thing, but she's not gonna hound you. She's not gonna give you like the cold tentacle shoulder. Uh, you know she's gonna be extremely sad about it, and she's definitely not gonna look outside. She's gonna go back and probably like curl up in a nest with Yoren.
That's fine.
Um,
It's just had to be done, or they would have just kept
yeah,
on coming back.
she probably understands. Um, you would think that Yorn would definitely understand. Like having a Riolan throw himself into battle, that says a lot. So he would probably definitely understand. Um, let me see here. How does shit work on this station? I think like 55 minutes later, some people finally show up. Like before then, there's been a couple like
They're just cold
scavengers.
bodies now.
Like a couple scavengers have shown up to like pick over the corpses. Like a couple kids have poked them with like sticks and stuff. Um, maybe somebody made off with like a knife.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
And it takes like I think maybe one good Samaritan probably came out of their building to check to see if they were alive. Um, but I think predominantly the neighborhood is really fearful of reprisal, and they're all just boarding up. Um, the shops like that you can see are all closed. The security shutters are down. It looks like everybody's putting their blinds up, and it takes like almost an hour for station security to show up. This is very different than normal security. Like they show up in riot gear. Um, they've got like some sort of launch system, like grenade launchers almost. They also have stun pistols like at every one of their sides. A couple of them have stun batons. They're not like they don't have like riot shields and stuff. Like you're not like wading through the street like with shields up. It's just like these are much more heavily decked out than normal cops. Um, they check the scene like you see one of them like release kind of a scan drone into the air and it starts taking scans of it. I think primarily they're searching for damage to any of the station infrastructure. Eventually like
Probably
a small
minimal since
transport,
fire.
yeah, like a small transport comes in and like collects the bodies. I think security knocks on several doors to ask, like, you can obviously ask what happens, to like ask what happened. Um, I think you guys get knocks at your door. Just like there's no way to avoid it because like you have like a lot of damage to yours. And like even though the rest of the area is not pristine, like it should be fairly obvious like that they're trying to get in here. But whether you answer or not is up to you. I don't think like Divil will come out, but if you hold her back from the door, she'll
I
not
would answer them because she's obviously distressed.
Yeah, so
that.
you open the door, you see a couple cops out there, security officers.
Microphone muted.
One of these drones is kind of floating by across the street. It's got like a, it's not blaring any noise, but it's got like a flashing blue light as it's floating by. It's basically just like an orb. And it's like, did you report the disturbance?
Yes, officer, I did.
It looks.
Yeah,
This looks like a real mess.
There was a large crowd of gang people trying to break down the door.
Can you tell us what happened?
One of them raised a Molotov, and I sprayed a burst from my SMG in their direction, and it combusted the Molotov.
I think his partner, you have to, looks over at him when you say SMG, and they trade a glance. You know that it's not illegal on this station, but that's still like super heavy firepower. And they're like, yeah, it's within your right to defend your home. We can see the damage out here. Does anybody need medical care inside?
I was wounded the previous day by the same gang.
Yeah, like they're probably
also
taking note of this massive bruise on the side of your head.
Yeah.
Do you wish us to summon emergency services?
I think they received what care they could, right?
Yeah, she basically called kind of like an unlicensed doctor, like somebody who had training but wasn't a doctor.
That they are being trained, cared for as best as they can on this station.
Yeah, basically what they're doing is like it's not that they're just assholes, but it's like they have a really tough job, and like security here is like you're paid for either by the block, or the thing with this station is most of the blocks are not paid, so they only come in on emergencies and stuff, and that could like potentially threaten like a lot of lives, like threaten riots or something like that, and like he's obligated to ask if you guys need emergency medical services. Like,
yeah, well,
they would provide you, but you would basically have some sort of debt incurred if they did. They nod like they figure you're hurt, but you're gonna suck it up so you don't have to pay several thousand credits.
Yeah, Ray has enough medical bills as it is.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna leave. One of them, his partner, he or she is shorter, steps back, starts scanning the street. Seems like they're pulling out. He leans in, he looks around, he's like, you may wish to have that thing ready. The deep walk assholes don't tend to take this shit well, but you did sort of fuck him up. You can't see his face. You can't really tell if he's approving or not. You get the feeling that maybe he's like he's very kind of worn down by this place, but maybe he's kind of respectful. He's basically just kind of warning you.
All right.
To keep on your toes.
I'll be aware, officer.
And yeah, they head out.
Ray personally doesn't think that there's going to be more problems from D Block, but
yeah, he doesn't know about your secondary actions. That was pretty wise. So you head back inside. You bolt everything up. Like, do you take a step out onto the street to see like the actual damage to the shop?
Yeah, I'll take a step out and look.
It's pretty bad. The door's not going to have to be replaced, but the shutters, they're either going to have to be replaced, or you're going to have somebody come by, or Divil and Urine are going to have to come, like, have somebody come by and either replace them or like do a really, really kind of crazy repair job, and they're never going to look great. But they're serviceable. One of the shutters looks like it's fairly compromised, but it's they didn't break through. If there was like another mob, they could probably get in, but you're thinking to yourself, there's not going to be another mob. It seems reasonable. You go back inside, I assume, and
yeah. Ray would be looking for a job the next day to try and help her pay some of the damages.
yeah.
She doesn't have any money, or she just paid them. But
I think before he leaves, I think this guy from security maybe leaves you a card. Like it's not like a paper card. It's like a data card almost.
DigiCard, TM.
Yeah. Like you can press a button and it has like a semi-holographic display, but then you can also insert it into a computer or something, and it'll link with something. I think he probably left it in case you needed assistance in the future. It has like rates for like private calls, like for security. While you're thinking about work and stuff, I'm just gonna mention, like, on there is kind of like to apply for a job in the security office, blah blah blah. That is on there, and that's something that you could.
Damn it! Then
do.
Ray would have actually had security clearance.
Well,
yeah,
that's
possible.
for the station. That's not down on the
Yeah, it's
planet.
the station.
A lot of these stations are pretty independent. So yeah, that's something you could consider. I assume you spend like the rest of the night probably
just watching out and trying to deal with my wounds.
Trying to take it easy. Like
keeping an eye on the message board.
You could probably take a chair up to the window and like relax your feet on a table and just lean back and kind of semi-nap.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. Is anybody else ready to go?
Ready whenever.
Yeah, all right. Akron, you have left some interesting things in a transport hub locker, I believe. And like you've rented that. I think it costs like 2 credits or something, like something nondescript. Like you just rent a locker. And are you waiting for this guy to contact you? Like, he never said anything.
I did say to contact me again in 3 hours, so I figure I'll just go back to the same spot and wait for him after I drop this off. Hopefully this didn't take a full 3 hours.
I'd say you're probably getting a little close. Yeah, so after 3 hours, you get a message, like a link request for chat on your compad.
Okay, I'll accept the chat and see what he says first.
It opens up the text chat. It's silent for a moment, and then it says, very interesting. Not familiar with that technique. Assume you got the job done.
I'm going to reply with the name of the station that I dropped it at and the locker number. And say that you should definitely go check it out when he wants to take an evaluation.
Okay. I think you hear or you see like unconventional but secure. You get the feeling that this is kind of like a message of approval. Um, we'll contact shortly. Where are you waiting?
I'm back in. I figure I'd be back at my probably apartment at this point.
So you're not trying to observe this drop?
Nope, I'm gonna leave it there and get as far away from it as I can.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty that's one way to do it.
Wait for him to get a hold of me after he's seen the results.
It's like another 3 hours.
Probably just turn up some music and start working on trying to patch through that data to Sarah while I'm waiting.
Do you try to beef up security and like figure out how exactly you were hacked?
You know
like
what?
during this time, like maybe you try to get like some sort of further information on like just how you were hacked, like maybe come up with some sort of signature or something like.
I was actually planning on once I got access to it to try to see if I could if I could get into the group to try to see if I could find someone inside of it. But yeah, I actually simply probably would be a
Just
good
while
idea
you're waiting.
to probably install a whole new security system, all new firewalls, just everything completely new security onto Sarah's partition in particular.
Yeah.
I can roll
Yeah,
for
so,
that
like,
as something if you want. I'm not
If
sure.
you know what, I will let you do that. Like if you want to write your own code, I think you've got the experience to do that. That'll be a computer's check. It's not going to have a TN. It's just going to be whatever number you get is going to be how good your protection is.
Oh god, I'm crossing my fingers right now.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
it's not too great,
that's
but
that's not bad. That's slightly better than commercial, like, like you buy it for cheap protection. Like it's not like software company protection that they sell to corporations, but it's better than like the stuff that you would pick up for like 15 credits
AVG
at like
free TM.
soft mart. So, maybe I don't know what sort of level of security you had before, probably a 7 or an 8. You just have like a completely different security now of this level. Of like your own doing.
that sounds good. We'll
Yeah.
have to see if I can find some tricks to beef it up later, but for the moment that should do me.
Yeah. While you are in there, going through the the code, writing your new firewall and everything, I think you see like a very faint trail of how like where this person actually accessed your system. Like what port they basically invaded through.
Interesting. Is there any way I could find out how they might have gotten that information, or?
It looks like examining it further, they only accessed your system for like approximately like 17 seconds.
Can I tell what they were doing or trying to do, or is that something I can't tell from what I found so far?
Looks
You're
like
stealing your shit, yo.
it looks like the majority of the time spent was just breaking through your security and everything. And once they got into your database, like whoever was doing it was basically running sort of automated program to just sift through things for, whatever it was that they were looking for. Like 17 seconds is not a whole lot of time for like somebody to just like poke around manually.
Probably while I'm dealing with all this, I'm going to disconnect Sarah's partition from having any internet connection whatsoever, or any kind of remote connection, just for the moment.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet. Like you disable the access to the wireless network on her partition. I think you get like some queries, like maybe several in rapid succession. Like loss of connection. Please reset. Is there a hardware problem? Something like that.
I'll probably respond to potential threat. We'll turn online when you're back, or we'll turn you back online when resolved, or something along those lines. But I'm not sure how much you can understand English at the second.
You probably just get the equivalent of like a turning hourglass, like parsing, and it's just like we'll enter standby mode or something like that.
Cool.
So, let's see here. I think the one thing you're probably able to glean from this attack, now that you're kind of delving into your computer, is that it was, it was done in a fairly non-amateurish fashion, um, and like whoever it was, I was either looking for something specific or they just had a routine, and they were definitely, kind of a professional.
New boy,
Uh,
that's scary. Concerned
but
about law enforcement at this point.
so yeah, your time goes by, and uh, several hours pass, and you get another chime on your. Do you answer your email messages on your compad or your data slab?
Usually either or, but under the circumstances, I might just be using my compad.
Okay, yeah, that's a precaution. Yeah, it's from ARA 187, and it's another text request.
Of course, I'll accept, and I'll just wait for him to start the conversation.
Um, Interesting is basically what you get. Do you have any response to that? Like he seems, whoever this is seems to be evaluating you, like your response as much as what you were actually doing.
Good to say that I hope he enjoys the extra program I left on there, and was wondering if I made the cut or not.
You get, as a matter of fact, I I I quite like your work. You get probably like a screenshot of of like a system security page like that you didn't see, that's obviously in their network, and it's like them tracing some sort of hack, um, and it looks like your little bit with that email message left by Sturgis has already kind of set off some things. Um, he says a very humorous. Uh, I do appreciate the extra bit. However, I am not the sort to uh, take the the food from another person's plate. Um, Run it yourself.
I'll probably reply back. Just wanted to show you what could be done.
You basically just get back mildly impressed, uh, very, very curious about your approach. Novel. What
Trying to wait to see if he's
you
gonna reply back
basically
anything more.
you basically get back what exactly do you want?
I'll just reply back with one word: membership.
Um, we're not exactly a club.
I'll reply, good. I have no interest in clubs.
There's a noticeable pause.
The way I'm thinking of this right now is I'm trying to hang on to the connection, is for sure. I mean, like, it could always come in handy to be affiliated with a group like this, even once
Yeah,
I've
it could.
accomplished my goals.
Uh, yeah. So I think the conversation shifts a little bit, and the next phrase, I don't know. You'll have to tell me how you respond. I see you're on deck 12.
Am I actually on deck 12?
Yes.
Ooh boy, don't know how to reply to this. Let me think.
Do you wish to meet?
Probably reply back.
I know
that
a
I've never-
great Nova Cafe.
I usually don't go for the low tech meetings, but in this case, I'll make an exception. Where's the address?
As soon as you say that, your screen starts to he basically links an interactive sort of display of the station, and there is like directions to a section on deck 12, fairly far away. It's like on the basically just on the port side, like not like left, but I mean like the docking port side where all the main dockyards are. And it's like a location of just like some sort of auxiliary storage area for like it's not an enclosed room or anything. It's like these docks are open. It's just like it's like a landing pad that's basically been segmented off for overflow cargo.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I'll say. I'll ask what time.
I think you get back. Okay, yeah, shift starts at 9.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll just reply back that I'll see you then, and then I'll disconnect.
Okay, yeah. 9 will definitely be, in another couple hours.
I think at this point, I'm renting a hotel, right?
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm going to take my stuff, pack it up. I'm going to go downstairs and complain to the hotel manager that there's a cockroach infestation in my room, and I want another one on a different deck.
Like Exotic space roaches.
Yes, whatever they're. I'm going to complain that my room's got an infestation, and I should immediately be moved to another room. Act very indignant.
Okay. Yeah.
I just don't want my personal possessions stored in a place
I can
where they
see it
obviously
now.
know
You
where
complain
I'm
about
at.
cockroaches and go, sir, there are no cockroaches on Centron 5 orbital what's such.
Yeah. So you go downstairs. I guess down deck. I guess it's not even down deck really. You like walk down some stairs, but you're still on the same deck technically. And like it's just sort of a lobby area with some tables, like a digital cafe, that sort of thing. It's kind of like a continental breakfast almost, but not a breakfast. And then there's like the manager station. It's all actually kind of clean here. You go up there. It is. Let's see here. It's a human. He's got a kind of a black mustache. He's tall and lanky, and he looks a little bit greasy. Um, his hair is a little bit balding, and he's like combed it over to like it looks pretty absurd. Like he's like this is like somebody who doesn't really take care of their appearance. He looks up and I think there's probably a moment where you realize like if it wasn't for like the hair and the mustache, you guys actually probably look a little bit similar. He says, "How may I help you, sir?"
Mirror universe me. No, I'm probably gonna go and definitely say that. What did you call them again? Can't remember what they were.
Exotic space roaches.
Exotic space wretches. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
that I found
it's
3
it's this
exotic space roaches in my bathroom this morning, and
it's this virulent strain of space roach that comes from the Exotis system that's only recently been making its way through the spaceways, and like they eat wiring.
in that case, I'm going to complain that it was trying to snack on my my power cord.
Yeah, you
I'm
give like a
very
really
indignant.
offended look, and you start to believe it yourself almost, I imagine. Uh, he's like, "Dear me, Exotin space roaches, you say?" Huh. He looks down at his display. You're requesting another room.
Preferably on another deck, as far away from this mess as possible.
Oh, I was going to suggest the room next door, 313. It seems to be available. If you don't want one on the same deck, I can search. And he starts looking.
I'm just going to be sneering at him the whole time. Kind of be looking at him like, hurry this up.
Yeah. As you're waiting on this, like, I think your male senses tingle a little bit, and you see like the distinctive figure of this red-skinned Tarlin with black hair just kind of walking through the lobby and walking out. And he kind of looks up, and you don't notice his eyes tracking her ass. Do you like complain that he's watching somebody?
Probably glance. It's the same girl I saw earlier, right?
Yeah, that's the one next to your room.
Seem to get an eye on me this time, or no? Did she
No.
not notice me? Excellent. Okay, I mean, in that case, I'm just going to roll my eyes a bit and let him continue his search for a better room for me, or for a distant room for me, anyway.
All right, he continues with that. I need to check one thing.
Mysterious people know where I live. It's time to relocate.
Mysterious people? You mean people who are in existence?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Do you want to make a luck save for me? It's a 1d20. Your target is 14. Oh wow, that's fortunate. Your mind is really turned to like your meeting, and then like how you can turn this to your advantage and figure out who the fuck was messing around with your system. And then like maybe you're a little bit distracted by this annoying kind of pasty, greasy guy that like maybe annoyingly reminds you of yourself, and like how he's kind of looking at this woman. But like some part of you like just just sort of kind of clicks. There's something about what he said previously, specifically when he was talking to you about switching your rooms. That
The
you're
room next
not.
to me is available. That's where she came out of. It just hit me now too when you said that.
Yeah. There's something about that. Like it's striking you as like, wait, that doesn't make sense. What do you do? She's like, do you turn to look?
Did she leave already, or is she still leaving?
She's gone. She's walked out of the lobby. She's not within easy sight. Like, you can't see her from where you are. And he's still busy on his computer.
You know what? I'm gonna let him finish the room transfer. I'm gonna thank him, but then I might head back up and see if that. Well, I guess the room's probably gonna be locked. Well, if it's not, yeah, it would still be locked. No, I think I have an idea. I'm gonna finish this transfer if he's going to allow me to move, and then I'm gonna head back up.
Yeah, he finds you one on the next deck up. It's like 437. And he hands you a new key card. Your key, sir.
I will thank him and take the key, and then I'm gonna head back to the elevator and go back up to where my old room was.
Yeah.
And is there any maids in the hallway or anybody doing cleaning services?
Uh, Roll a luck save. I love the ubiquitous luck save. It can come in handy so many times. No.
Damn, nothing in there. Okay, I'll go over to her room and see if I can see if it's unlocked or anything. I'm guessing it's probably not.
It's locked.
I'll listen to it for a second.
You don't hear anything. If only you would let him change your room.
Yeah, I was gonna try and see if I can con my way in there, but I'm thinking that it's better I relocate. I don't know. I'm still suspicious of her now, but I might be back here eventually. In the meantime, I think I'm gonna move my stuff into the other room now and then prepare for my meeting.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fine. So, Twitch. What are you doing with your evening? You've got like a bundle of credits.
I do.
You've seen, I mean, like you've been to what was obviously a crime scene, like seen somebody who's dead. You've been in some dangerous places. Have you actually ever seen a dead person before, though?
Probably not. I got out there very quickly.
I don't know, Twitch. You got a lot of credits, and there's a lot of exotic aliens that are attractive.
Floating
around.
I need robot parts.
Crab likes the robot parts.
Yeah. So, just keep that in mind. Like you're probably thinking back to that body that you never looked at in the shower. Like, what did it actually look like? Who was in there? So you're actually just gonna go and spend your money right now?
Probably not this evening. The next day,
Okay.
probably.
All right.
I have no clue how much it costs for those parts, but if it's a bundle, I think I have enough now.
So you're gonna go back probably to your apartment and like do some research on what they would cost and where you would get them.
Yeah, like how much like the going rate for those parts would be.
Yeah. You mentioned that you wanted to actually get stuff from Tankai brand, not their competitor. Like you wanted something very compatible with Max.
Yes, if possible. I mean, if it's
All right.
like 100 times more in price, that's.
Yeah, Arkan Dovor Industries is their direct competitor in this sector. They're based off of Hideno. They're actually the ones that have more presence on Centron than Tankai. If you are looking to order replacement parts for a Series 7 Astro Survey drone, you go into the database. The 7 is still like the current model. It's been out for a few years. It's rumored that they're working on something else. But like it's a popular droid amongst its field, like surveyors and scavengers and prospectors and stuff. But it's still not like a widely spread sort of thing. Like it's a fairly high tech, expensive little bit of technology. Like Max is fairly versatile. You're gonna have to order the parts. It doesn't look like there's any place, at least, that you could readily find on the net listing that you could just get parts for him here. Like, if there are parts on this planet, which you sure there are, it's like it's in some sort of salvage yard or in a like they're just not listed anywhere. Like they're probably in a pawn shop or something. You have no idea. The only guaranteed place you would be able to find parts where you could just order them would be, it would have to be whatever is in the next Tankai shipment to one of the orbitals. It looks like it's not going to be mega expensive for the parts themselves. Like you're just replacing his leg and like some servos, right? Like, and you've got some parts for maintenance that you want like to double up on in case he breaks.
Yeah, ideally.
Is there anything else?
Um, I've been looking at. Shoot, what was it? Uh, I want to get him an actual like hollow unit, like a real one, not like the little one he's got.
Yeah, the one that he has right now is literally almost just like a projector. And it's not very good. It certainly doesn't have any like force field capability.
Because the actual
Yeah,
one is palm-sized. I assume I have to get slightly smaller than that to fit him.
yeah, it'd have to be micro sized. What page on the book is that?
44. The normal ones are 50 creds.
All right, so I'm thinking because of the specialized nature of the parts, it's not going to cost a shit ton. Like for the hollow unit and the spare leg, are you're just gonna get one. And like the spare servos and stuff. Basically like a maintenance kit. It's probably gonna run like 400 credits, but then you got to factor in shipping. I know I have that somewhere. Let's see here, lifestyles, page 45. Uh,
Look, this is when it comes out. Look, I've already ordered the parts, but they haven't come in yet, so I couldn't have fixed
Yeah.
Max yet.
yeah, Starship cargo shipping per kilo, 25 per hex. God, I wish I knew what a kilo was. How many pounds is a kilo? That's like 2.5.
It's not much. I think kilograms are lighter.
1 kilogram in pounds, 2.2.
Okay, I was close. Uh, Let me do some quick math here.
Oh, I don't know if they offer such a thing, but I want a mini Stumbaton.
Ooh. Oh, like for him?
Yes, for him.
Uh, it doesn't look like they offer that.
Well, Cloud, you might be able to use your tech skill to take off the tip, and he can use his own battery to fire it.
Yeah, but I can't order that from this order, so.
Just saying.
I do intend to buy a Stumbaton. Seems like something that'd be good to wield telekinetically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you attach it to Max's bum, and he can just go.
All right,
by
Twitch. It's
tripping
going to
somebody.
cost you a total of 600 credits to get these parts, including the hollow unit, shipped to where you want to ship them. Like, this is basically the rate to get them shipped to the planet, but are you getting them shipped to your apartment? Are you getting them shipped somewhere else?
Can I get them shipped to like the local mail office and pick them up?
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably a shipping receiving center that you could go to.
I would go with that rather than getting shipped to my house.
Yep, that sounds smart.
I like to use the credit stick that doesn't belong to me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah,
It's
you
probably
slot.
mostly anonymous anyways, but it's better to be
Yeah.
safer
Yeah,
with that.
this way it's like you slot the credit chip in, and it's like using like a gift card or something. Like it's just like, yes, this is an accepted alternate currency. Uh, Tenkai Corporation appreciates your business. We hope to see you again. You have earned 12 Tenkai Corporation loyalty points
points,
for
yeah.
your purchase.
Kind of like I have all these reward cards from American Express. I end up using them on Steam because nobody else accepts American
Yeah.
Express.
So yeah, make sure you go down 600 credits. And I'm gonna say when you pick those, you know, yeah, when you pick those up, you'll get your XP.
Okay. Do they have like a here's your order number for confirmation when you pick them up or something like that?
Yeah, they give you all that, and they give you an approximate date. It looks like it's gonna be
Sometime
like
after our main mission.
5 weeks.
This was what, a month or two ago?
Yeah, we're precisely 1 month ago.
Okay. So yeah, after our current mission.
Yeah.
Right. Already deducted.
Alrighty. Uh, I think like you probably go to bed after this. I don't know what your like nightly routine is or anything.
Well, I've probably been looking at my data pad, but tonight I think I'm gonna go to bed to a certain dancing projector lady.
Nice, nice. Little creepy considering it's being projected by Max, but nice. Do you like do you ever browse the news at all? Like
I
do you check
probably
do you check
headlines if
the
they're
net?
interesting, but I
Like
probably don't
before you
spend.
go to bed, do you do that when you wake up? That sounds like more
Uh,
of a wake up sort of thing.
yeah, probably in the morning. I wouldn't do it at
Okay.
night.
All right. Let's see here. We're gonna go back to Ray.
All right.
Actually, to try to keep everything in total sync, we're gonna go to Akron because I think we're probably gonna pick up in the morning with both Ray and Twitch, and Akron's is happening at the night. Uh, this will probably be like the only time we kind of break cycle. Akron, it is time for your meeting. You've
Awesome.
relocated to a new hotel room, like one floor above. Uh, like a total distance of maybe 60 feet. uh, except it's a vertical feet, so it matters more. Did you try to do anything with this other room
If there were no
before you
names
left?
around to try to con my way into the room to give it a once over, I'm probably gonna have to just try to come back to it later.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I think your opportunity was missed.
Do we use they use electronic key cards at that room, right?
Yeah, they're like square little pegs that you kind of insert into the door. They're like transparent orange, and they've got like kind of glowing circuitry on them.
I might keep that in mind to ask this if the meeting goes well to ask this guy if he knows anybody that can rig me up one of those.
Yeah, all right. Do you get there right on time? Do you try to get there a little bit early? Do you get there fashionably late? What do you do?
I'll probably get there good if I can get there a little early and already have a coffee ordered and then be waiting to see when he kind of comes in. I'm assuming that he's going to approach me.
We'll see. So like you're
Keep
getting
an
there like
eye
10
on.
minutes early or something.
Yep, I'll get there like 10 minutes early and I guess get.
Your internal organs. Uh, yeah, you get to the docks, and like there is a coffee place, and it seems like it caters to the dock workers or people getting on flights or getting off of flights. Um, let me see here. Where did that go? Yeah, okay. Uh, you're in line, and and you're getting your coffee. Like there's not a whole lot of people around at this point. You're 10 minutes early. You're kind of keeping an eye out. You're within eye shot of like where you think you're supposed to be. Um, it seems to be like just a secondary kind of loading dock almost. There's like a bunch of cargo containers over there, like not like the ones that you would find on like a freighter ship today. Like these are smaller. You see the occasional dock worker walking around. But nobody like over at that specific area. Do you like? Do you just go over there and wait with your coffee? Do you sit down at like this little coffee stand and drink your coffee and wait and kind of watch the area?
I think I'll probably sit down on the table. I'll probably pop my data pad open and connect in case he tries to contact me there, and also probably be a little more obvious. And then
And so like you're nearby, but you're actually not at the dock.
oh, he actually wanted me to meet me. Okay, I thought he meant it was like a Starbucks that's right next to the dock, basically, or equivalent of a
Well,
Starbucks
like
next to the
it
dock.
was pretty vague. Like he made a joke about a Nova place. This is not a Nova cafe. Uh, maybe he was actually alluding to the fact that you had been to a Nova place earlier.
Okay, I think I misunderstood. I thought that this was a Nova place. That's why I was confused. I thought
No,
this was
no.
actually where I was supposed to be. So in that case, I'll
There's
probably
basically like a loading dock, but it's literally only like 100 feet away.
I'll probably put my comm pad on in case he tries to contact me there, and then maybe I'll buy a coffee and casually go walking past the dock while drinking my coffee and reading my comm pad, seeing if I can.
So you're gonna walk past the dock.
Yep, I'll just start walking up to where the roughly where the dock is, and
Okay.
sipping my coffee and reading my comm pad while I do so to mostly keeping an eye out, but casually looking like I'm reading my comm pad.
So like nobody's there right at this point. Like there's somebody who seems to be keeping an eye out on the cargo, and they see you. But you're loitering, but you're not in like the cargo zone. You're nearby, and you're not messing with the cargo. You still look kind of suspicious, but like they give you a squint, but you know that you're in like a public area, even if it's like one of those dubious areas where like people normally don't go. I This is like I suppose the typical Akron like return sneer.
Yeah, I'll even go a step further and mostly just ignore them and look like I'm really into whatever's on my phone if
Okay.
I'm getting too ignored.
About 5 minutes later, right as it gets to about like 9 o'clock, uh, you I think you hear a voice from behind you, uh, and it's like a little bit above, and Jesus. Well, actually, I need to stop saying that because it's probably not a common thing in this universe. Uh, 7 hells of Borgeron. You stick out like a sore thumb. Do you
So I'm
do
gonna
you
guess
turn
that
around?
I'll probably turn to
Paradisa's tits. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll keep that one in the chamber.
probably turn and give him a careful look over, especially to note if he's carrying anything that might be either
So you
dangerous
turn
or.
around expecting like somebody tall or something because it sounded like that it was somebody above you, and like you turn and it's basically like the raised platform of the loading dock, like it's raised like 3 feet, and you're all you are seeing are like a pair of feet, and you look up, and there is like this like 3.5, like maybe 4 foot tall, like it looks like a human, like a really stout guy, but you've never seen anybody this short before. And this guy's got like this long, flowing black beard, these like piercing blue eyes, and he's got like a tool belt on his waist. Like there's like a heavily worn compad like strapped to one end of his tool belt. He's wearing like a dark navy blue jumpsuit. And he's just kind of looking down at you with a slightly amused look.
I figured you had to notice me somehow. I would probably have to ask something along those lines anyway.
He laughs, and he starts making his way down. He disappears behind a cargo box, and I guess your eyes follow him towards where like the ramp is, and I would assume you kind of follow him that way. And he starts coming down the ramp towards you. He is super short, but man, he's pretty stout. Uh, well, I wasn't expecting you to well to be quite so obvious, but you know, you can't judge a book by its cover. You know. He holds out a hand, notably his left hand, and
I think if I'm
it's
looking him over, I'll probably say, yeah, you probably shouldn't.
and like you know he's kind of waiting to see if you shake his hand or not.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and shake his hand in this case.
The name's Bakrin. Uh, Pleasure to meet you. Uh, so step into the office, and you know he kind of gestures with his head up the ramp, like towards just the loading dock. Like it's not much of an office, but I guess you follow him.
I'll probably follow him and probably thinking to myself that this is, the last place you'd go to look for a hacker ring, so there's
Yeah.
that going for it.
Yeah. Uh, says I have to admit, I was pretty impressed. I thought you were going to do some sort of backscatter viral integration to get through there, but no, you didn't even bother hacking the thing. You just got that asshole Sturgis to just give you the fucking password.
Probably mentioned that he sounded like he could use some excitement in his life.
Oh, he's got that all right. He's really enjoying himself. He's like, by the way, you don't have to worry about talking out around here. There's hardly a lick of security. Just the camera. And they don't read lips. Nobody steps into Bakrin's domain on my shift. We'll be fine here.
Probably tell him that the minute you think you're invulnerable is when you get screwed. So
He gives you a look, and then he nods. He doesn't say anything, but he nods. He takes something out of his pocket and he tosses it to you. You recognize it as the at least one of the chips that you had left in the locker.
awesome. I'll ask him if he found they got a copy of the contents or what he was looking for.
Well, now what I want with it is my business, but I will say that I was satisfied. A lot of it was just to see how you did it. I'll admit that I got quite a few laughs. Sturgis, not so much. That other thing, you could keep for yourself. It seems hard work should be rewarded. He kind of laughs at that, like again, except for Sturgis.
Oh,
So
you
you're
know, sometimes
you're-
you have to make an omelet.
yes. So you're interested in Drintis, are ya?
I've heard quite a few interesting things about them.
Well, they say that, you know, they're not the biggest group, but they know their way around the net on KL2 and a couple of the nearby orbitals.
I don't like big groups anyway. They like too many loose links.
Yes, they sink orbitals, don't they? So so you seem to be new to the station, if you don't mind me saying.
I've been around. Sorry, my mic cut out for a second. No, I've been around, and I'll also tell them that I usually work starships.
Ah, the spacer's life. He gives you appreciative nod. My cousin, Balther, he's a spacer. He's a ship's engineer on a starship, but that's neither here or there. It appears you're not in the starship game any longer. So are you looking for work?
I'll say that I've been between jobs, so yeah, I'm definitely looking for some local work.
there might be a thing that some friends of mine could set you up with. Uh, I can't I can't help but notice you and it doesn't hurt. You seem fairly security minded. Are you expecting trouble? Like I imagine you've been kind of watching the angles occasionally, like looking around. He probably watched you for a little while.
I always expect trouble, and that's how I don't get in any.
I somehow doubt that last part, but to each his own.
Yeah, I'd say I do get in my share, but I won't tell him that.
Yeah, so basically, like the conversation proceeds, and like in a roundabout way, with nothing like implicit. It seems like maybe he's making sure not to implicate himself in anything. Uh, he like makes it clear that you've impressed him enough to where, like, if there was some sort of job where somebody was hiring a hacker and they went to Trintis, like he could potentially refer you. Um, is there anything you want to bring up with him? Like,
I'm gonna ask, generally, how does their network work? Like, do they use any kind of online forums, or do they meet in physical locations, or what's the general, like? How does their organization, I guess, function?
they never meet all together. Occasionally they'll meet like a face to face just to say hi, catch up. They kind of do that to keep appearances that they're just kind of like a loose collection of friends. Apparently, um, they contact each other kind of like on a rotating schedule of various forums. They've got like dead drop email accounts and stuff. Like, people will all log into the same email and leave messages to themselves, and then the next week, like, it'll be a completely different email or so. It's just stuff like that. uh but yeah, they don't like get together. They don't have like a whole lot of meetings per se, even online. They just kind of keep in touch.
Interesting.
I think
So
that's
what?
probably how they've remained kind of off the radar. Is like you get the feeling that they're not big time hackers in terms of like they don't pull off huge attacks, but it's not that they're unskilled. It's just they're content with not going to jail or something.
That fits my character perfectly. I think that would be along lines Zacron's thinking. So we'll definitely be agreeing to this and seeing how we would go about proceeding.
Do you broach the subject of getting some sort of local information from him?
I'm actually, once the meeting is getting close to the end, I'm going to initially ask him for about the key card to the place across the hall. I'm not going to push him about the hack on me just yet. I'm going to I have an idea of how to handle that in the following day. But I am going to ask him possibly, if the meeting is going well, if he knows anybody in town that knows how to rig one of those. I had a suspicious neighbor, or I've seen someone. Actually, no, I'm not going to tell him what I want it for. I'm just going to see
Yeah,
if he'll.
he doesn't ask. He says that's actually something of my own specialty. I'm more of the hardware sort. He points to his tool belt and stuff. Do you
think
do
I
you
might
have
actually.
a key that I could look at for a tick?
Yeah, I'm going to smile and. You know what? I'm going to actually, even though I know that this guy will know what floor I'm on again, I'm going to show him my current key.
Uh, it doesn't even have like your actual room number emblazoned on it. Like, it's actually kind of part of security. You're it's kind of just he's basically looking to see like what sort of key it is, and he's like, okay, yes, this is doable. He checks to see what establishment it is, and he's like, and what room were you wanting to get into? This was a 313.
Okay, that was the one that she was in was 313. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I want.
Yeah.
313.
So he nods. He says it can be done. I can have it done for you. I can have it done for you. Probably in an hour. If you let me take this, I can actually. The funny thing about these, and most people don't know it, is they get rewritten every night when they're not in use, and the same key is not necessarily the key to the same door. Uh, they can actually open multiple doors if you know how to configure them the way you want them. So
Say an
yeah,
hour
like
is
he's basically offering to make your key open both your room and this 313. And it looks like he's not going to charge anything. He looks a little bit curious about it. And you don't mention anything about trying to find this hacker.
not tonight. I have a way to mention that in case I don't
Okay.
even trust these people just yet.
All right.
Definitely
So
let them make a copy of the key.
he's like, get lost for an hour and come back and I'll have it for you. All right. So
I'll probably head over to the closest fast food restaurant to get some of those inflated burgers or dehydrated burgers.
Insta burgers.
Insta burgers, that's it. Yeah.
Good old Instaburger. So, let me think. I think we had Twitch last. Was that correct?
Yeah, I ordered parts.
Okay. All right, Ray.
Theoretically, under an anonymous account with a gift card.
Like, Akron, you're not basically gonna ask him anything else in your follow-up conversation, right?
That's correct. I'm gonna probably
Okay,
start
we're
my
just gonna-
investigation again tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna assume that you go back and get the key, and then you go back home, to your hotel. So Ray, you wake up in the morning. I think your head is even worse than it was the day before.
Probably.
You know how it is.
We're not getting enough sleep this time.
Your ribs just ache like shit. There's like a horrible bruise on your jaw and the side of your head. It appears though that Yoren has actually woken up. He is bedridden though. He's in the next room. Like Divil comes and brings you like something to eat earlier on and tells you that he's awake.
Thank you, Devil. Or Divil. How is Yoren this morning?
Like he's awake. He's doing better. He's still in some pain, but that medicine you gave me helped. I don't think he's gonna be getting out of bed for a little while.
And I'll eat breakfast and then I'll go see him.
She nods, or bobs rather, and walks out of the room. Do you have like any plans for the day that you like? Or are you just gonna lay low?
I was gonna lay low and see what was gonna happen to the any kind of news about the D cell gang, D block gang.
So like I imagine you're probably getting changed or whatever, and you look outside. There's people on the street like as normal now. There's like stains in the middle of the road, like some blood stains, some of it's burn stains, some of it's blood, like burned blood stains.
Blood stains.
People seem to be avoiding those. It's creating like a curious bubble in foot traffic. But yeah, like it's kind of back to normal outside, except the shop is closed. After you get dressed, you head in to their room, and like Riolin's kind of sleep in these little nest things. They don't have like beds like you have. And And Yorin, who is normally kind of like a really, really, really dark burgundy color, he looks a little bit.
Well, mind tries to place what burgundy is. It's
Like a reddish
It's
one
like
of
brown.
those
maroon,
brown color.
maroonish brown sort of thing. Uh,
Thank you for saving my life again. As I like kind of kneel at his side type thing.
his voice is really weak. But like he moves like one of his forward arm tendrils over and kind of grips your arm and he says, "I'm glad you're okay. That was very brave. I heard about last night."
Yes, rather nasty business that is, but I don't think that gang will be bothering us again.
Regrettable. But you did the right thing. He kind of shifts to where like he's kind of sensing the area where his mate is. She's she's there, but she's giving you guys some privacy. Jillo will not say it, but she appreciates it as well. Make sure you stay inside and stay safe. They will not be happy. But someone did have to stand up to them.
Yes, there was quite a bit of damage to the front of your shop. I'll do what I can to repay you for that.
He waves the hand. He says, "Do not think of it."
Are you sure? I mean,
Like he insists basically like it was not your fault. It was those. They have paid enough.
all right. Is the medicine helping? I gave your mate some.
He seems to be in pain, but he's not horribly in pain. Like he's just uncomfortable, and he kind of like he seems to brave through it. He tries to reassure you that he's fine. He'll be back up and again soon.
I'm not sure what I'll be doing now. I received sort of an offer from the security office. Maybe earn a few credits, but that'll be after I heal up.
He he listens. Doesn't really say a whole lot. He says, "You we knew you would not stay in the ramen shop forever. You are a wandering one. Uh, you will have to go back to your journey eventually." So,
Did I
so
ever
like,
tell you about the Whooper?
no,
I kind of
you
like
didn't.
I try to make him.
Yeah,
I relate the story
he
trying
says
to
no.
distract him a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely listens. And I think like during the course of the story, uh, his mate comes up to listen as well. That kind of segs into a question that I had.
But yeah, I thought
Um,
about trying to roll culture, like culture sector 14, to see if I could find like a Riolan doctor, but I can't pay them, so yeah.
like to your knowledge, like you're a xenobiologist, so like you might not specialize in Riolins, but like you can tell he's not in mortal danger or anything.
Yeah.
Um, you've been to a lot of exotic planets and like you've seen a lot of ones. Like what's like you're telling him this story, like what is the one that stands out most in your mind and like what was the most fearsome creature there?
Most fearsome creature. Is this like make an arch enemy for later, DM?
It's more just like make up a part of your backstory. Like if this is a creature, like maybe it will come into play later. It doesn't have to be like Scar the Thresher Maw survived and I will one day go back to get my vengeance on. No, it doesn't have to be like that. It could just be like I was on this planet. God damn it!
One
there were
time
these
there was
six-armed
this
Yetis.
there was like this amorphous salamander, but it had like 10 tendrils that all shot acid. That was bad.
The other players are right now just agape like, what have you done to us? It shoots acid.
Oh no! See, Star has played the "get your players to play against themselves" card.
Yeah. What planet was this on?
Oh, shit. Let me go look
Was
at the
was it
actual-
on a planet? Was it on a moon? Was
It was
it
like
It's
on
on
a,
Dramedy 6.
like someplace
less
far,
populous
far
planet
away?
that had a very low population. I don't know what planets fall under that category.
Let's see here.
It wasn't the same one the Whooper was on, but it was another less developed world. I don't really have an index of what these are.
Yeah,
so-
I can probably look and point something out. You came from the Utara system, I believe. Let's just say it was a moon in the Urax system. That's like just over, just an unnamed moon. It was like one of your first stops, and like
Mhm.
there's this like semi-amorphous lizard thing, salamander thing that has like tendrils that spew acid. I gotta write this down.
Please tell me we're
see,
not
see,
going there.
I knew it. I was like, make up a creature for the
And like
universe.
This is when the
from now
DM says,
on, you
"So
guys
they're not
have-
going there, huh?" Just
yeah,
wait till
like,
they crash land on approach.
yeah, yeah, like no, that's fine.
I don't
It's
even
just
know
like,
what the creature
you guys,
was called.
You guys are gonna be on some planet and like there's gonna be a crashed cargo ship. You're like, oh yeah, it's fine. It was from the Urax system. Oh god.
Oh man.
I don't know. Spews acid sounds pretty deadly to me.
Yeah, some sort of corrosive substance.
I mean,
Jesus.
it's deadly in D&D, but when you're thinking about this, ugh.
Amorphous salamander.
So what makes it a
Multiple-
salamander if it's amorphous?
Multiple acid spewing tentacles.
Yeah, this thing, I don't even know how it mates or anything, but man, that acid, it ate right through my armor. That barely
They
got out
listen-
alive.
They listen with rapt attention. I think they comment that you're like in a lot of situations where you barely get out alive,
This is true.
like
This is true.
both
really
on
need to get
civilized
some-
worlds and not.
I really need to get some better armor. Maybe something that's acid resistant, because I seem to run into those a lot.
Yeah.
You get
Right.
something
First,
made
I
out of
need to-
like
Need
glass.
to make some credits to pay
So
for my sister's care.
yeah, so like, I'm getting the picture that you're spending the day,
Relating
in-
tales to them. Yeah.
relating tales to them and like when you go to give him time to rest, like you're probably wandering into where they have the news, like Hollow Viewer,
Yeah.
like maybe you're checking to see if anything's happening on the station yet with the gangs in your off time. Like are you looking for possible job opportunities? Like you've
Yeah,
got
because
that
she needs
thing,
credits.
you've got that possibility. Like they didn't offer you like a job, but it's just like on the card that the guy gave you. It's just printed like if you would like to find employment opportunities with a security officer, like that's one immediate opportunity you could have. Is there anything specific you would think that you would be looking for on this station? Like you sort of know what sort of station it is. It's almost just like a ghetto.
Yeah. Like maybe just like extra medical assistant needed or something like that.
That
maybe.
could be very good. Yeah, let's say there's definitely like a clinic, and it's a small thing. And I think there's probably like almost permanent help wanted ad like listed on the poor vandalized station net board that like it looks like the wanted ad has been there for like years, and if it's been answered, it's never been taken down. Um, then it's just like uh, competent help sought. And it looks like it's just like a nurse or a technical position, like somebody with some sort of medical experience.
Yeah.
Um, it comes to that this might have very well have been the person that they called to come assist you. Um, it would probably like it doesn't. You're not quite sure if the guy's a doctor or not. People call him Doctor Yalar.
Is he like a specialist for aliens or anything like that, or maybe just a local like
He's a human, but like he treats pretty much everybody, and like people call him Doctor Yalar, but like he doesn't. He's not like his practice isn't like a doctor's office per se. It's just like it's basically him and like an assistant or something, and they just do what they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could work. Does it list anything about like credit rates or anything?
Let me see.
I guess I could always like, is there like a call here for more information or anything?
Oh no, I can definitely come up with this. It looks like the position is like it's listed at like 40 credits a day. Uh, but that's like requiring that you have some sort of technical thing. That's probably actually one of the higher paying positions here, but it's like no wait that was no sorry that was the wrong section. I thought it when it said employees under doctor, it was like doctor employees. No, that's actually just if you were a doctor. I think it's probably more like 20 credits. Um, you were asking how you respond.
Um, 20 credits a day is what I owe for Emily's care.
Yeah, that would basically about cover it. It doesn't seem like the guy can offer much.
If that's what's offering, I mean, I'd have to because I have to pay for her care.
Well, do you
So.
check out how much the security office is offering? Like there's not an actual.
She'd be much more well equipped to handle the medical care than she would the security job. But being as I know out of game-ish, but she has a 1 in tech medical and like a 0 in combat skills.
Yeah, like if you're if it's to the point where like if she just has like an option, even if it's not like a well-paying option for the field that she would rather be in, like that's understandable.
that's kind of the thing. So I'd probably go for that.
Yeah, yeah. So like, do you send like a message to Dr. Yalar?
I'd probably wait a few days because I'm kind of
Okay.
rather badly wounded to start with. But yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it could look kind of bad if you showed up to a doctor's office and your doctor was injured. At least I would take it badly.
Yeah. So I guess as you're waiting throughout the day, you're keeping an eye on the news feeds. Like there's not like reporting live from Block C. Like it's not like that. It's just like what's happening. It's usually like in a text or like they have like some camera footage or something. It's not like an actual news network. It's just like happening now on the station. It looks like there's some sort of trending topic about like a showdown between the A Block Dragons and the D Block guys. Like D Block doesn't even have a name. They're just D Block. Some people call them the D Block douchebags, but
Deep like douchebags.
yeah, that's like the term that's been trending during this argument about who's better. Like maybe A Block has better marketing. And you hear like, or you see messages like Gavaran's totally leading the A Block guys down the D Block right now. They're gonna go kick some ass. I think you see like a compad / cell phone picture of like a bunch of guys on like a small hover vehicle, like going down the street, and it's just like an absolute piece of shit. And one guy in like the front passenger seat is he's kind of like sitting up. They're all like really tough looking guys, and this guy is actually a Tarlin, like reddish orange skin. He has this bright white mohawk. Like the rest of his head is shaved, but he's got like this spiky, very 80s mohawk, and he's got like a spiked black leather jacket, but he's got no shirt on underneath it, and you can just tell he's like absolutely ripped. He's not like muscular like Arnold level. He's like actually kind of a slim guy, but like he is just absolutely muscles. And he's got like a chain wrapped around his arm, and it's just like the picture of if an alien was in the 80s, like that's totally it. And like it seems like something is ramping up to actually happen between these two gangs.
If nothing else, they have a lot more to worry about than a little ramen shop.
Yeah, like even if they don't come to blows, like at least like you've probably fucked D Block over enough to where they're not gonna come bother you for a couple days. All right, Twitch.
Yes.
It is the morning, and you are waking up. I think like Max is like sitting on your pillow. He's kind of like poking you with his one good front arm. He's poking you a little bit softly on the cheek, like saying it's time to get up. Like this is the time I'm supposed to wake you up.
I don't wanna. Let me sleep.
You hear like a little like a and then like if you kind of open your eyes a little bit, you see like a holographic dancer projected on your chest. At like a very slight angle.
Okay. It's like I'll get up. Okay.
It blinks off and he hops back off the pillow. And he scuttles down the bed. Like I assume you brush your teeth. You like
just do all the normal morning stuff.
Yeah.
Take a shower. Probably get some cereal. Turn the news on while I'm there.
Yeah, like I bet like you hop in the shower and like you put your hand on one of the like basically there's a glass plate in the shower stall. It's like that's where you can project the news onto if you want to actually do something while you're in the shower.
I'm not
and,
coherent enough in the shower to watch the news yet.
Yeah, but maybe would you like turn it on just to have it on and going
Probably.
while you're so like you're not absorbing a whole lot of it. There's like the standard news like some gangbanger got knocked off on like 772nd Avenue or something. And it's just like it's kind of the morning reports. You see something about a body discovered somewhere. It's the normal things for your neighborhood and the neighborhoods around. Like you get out of the shower, you continue with your routine. Like I assume you get dressed and you plop down at your desk, as it were. It's really more of a table almost, where you've got your data slab. Like you like maybe you sit down to check like the tracking numbers just to see like if it's like on the way, like your parts are on the way, and like it's like like still processing order or something, like it's not even left the factory yet.
Sorry, we are not open on the following days. Your order will be processed next available business
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, like too bad there's only 2 available business days on Pharaon 2. Like 5 days of the week are weekend.
Well,
Uh
2 days are business days. The other 5 are industrial purposes only days.
yeah, something like that. So like do you this is something I've been meaning to ask. Have you been like trying to contact your family back on
Well,
or what?
the way I saw it is that I have no clue what happened. I probably should. Last I saw of my father, he was doing some type of research, I think, and he basically shoved Max at me and told me to run, and that was it. That's the last I saw of him. I have never seen my mother, and I have know of no other family. So to contact him would
Wow.
involve tangling with Tankai.
That's pretty heavy stuff. Yeah, so like I mean, do you occasionally like turn to like the Pharaon news to just see what's going on there?
Yeah, I think I would try to keep some tabs on that. If I can I get the Pharaon news from here? Is that like a
Yeah,
thing?
like it's not live. It's
You
just
get
like
the
what happened.
recordings for the
I get
next
the
last
like
week.
Yeah, it's like
2
it's
months
what
ago
happened last
Pharaon
week.
news.
It's like what happened last week. You get like Tenkai is a very big thing on Pharaon. Um, the only thing bigger is the what is it? Let me look. I actually have this name, so I have to look it up. Oh yeah, Havilon Supernonics. Uh, like Tenkai is like the second biggest business on Pharaon 2. But like what put Pharaon on the map is Havilon Supernautics. They're like the sector specialist in spike drives. It is the primary export of the world. It's the primary reason why it's such a waste dump.
But they
In
got
terms of
big
like,
after the Scream.
yeah, yeah, they actually specialize in it. It's pretty crazy. Um, they have like a
Pre-Scream,
direct.
everyone's like, huh, why would you specialize in spike drives? They're worthless nowadays.
Yeah. Uh,
Their stock jumped to 5,000% overnight.
yeah. Yeah. Hedeno, and like the little Hedeno kind of confederation that they lead, like they have 3 planets that are aligned with them. They're always trying to somehow acquire Pharaon 2 because of their power and their industrial might, and Pharaon's always managed to stay independent. And their primary competitor is pretty much Centron. Like Centron has Gedeon star drives, which they're not nearly as like renowned in terms of like advanced design and stuff. But Centron, you guys know, is like the biggest actual starship manufacturer location in the sector. So like, there's a lot of competition between the two. Tankai is a big thing on Pharaon, and its competitor Arkan Dovor is a big thing on both Hedeno and to a minor extent on Centron. And you just get like a lot of news regarding like corporations and companies and stuff. There seems to be like something about like a report on like pollution levels on Pharaon. Um,
Nothing new there.
yeah, it's just like it seems to be like this some sort of report here is actually making some waves. Like maybe there was something that crossed some sort of threshold that it wasn't supposed to, and there's actually supposed to be a meeting coming up sometime.
Oh, look. So it's suddenly the atmosphere's gone from heavily dangerous to very dangerous.
Yeah, it's actually not as much in the atmosphere as it's like ground pollution. and water pollution and stuff, you would know that
Our ground level pollution has advanced from bad to quagmire.
the I mentioned that the biggest businesses are Tankai and the Star Drive company, Havilon, but like the biggest local like resources or the local manufacturers, they're like just kind of the biggest things are the utilities, uh, like air filtration for entire city zones and water filtration and stuff like that. Those companies make tons of money, and it still doesn't make it doesn't like leave sparkling clean water or something. It's just like it's the only way the planet stays habitable. Uh, but yeah, that's the general stuff you get from Faerun too. Um, Another question is, what exactly have you done to have you looked at all into like what is up with Max and like why uh your dad like threw him at you and told you to run, or like why Tankai might be after him, or have you done anything like that at all?
At first, I probably would have thought he was like maybe there's something special about him himself, but it's been 3 years. They're not even developing the Series 7 anymore, so I wouldn't think they'd still be after me, but they still seem to be. So I probably should look into that, but I haven't yet. Maybe I'll do that today. Nothing better to do at the moment.
Uh, yeah. So can you repeat that last bit for me? It was kind of
I
loud
said
on my
nothing
end.
nothing better to do at the moment
Uh, then what?
than to. I said maybe I'll do that today. Look into Max.
Okay. Um,
I don't know what that would involve. I guess a computer's check of
well,
some
like
sort.
you kind of pieced together. We talked about this before that like it can't be just because he's an experimental bot. Like you've noticed that he's pretty intelligent, in terms of being adaptive. He's not like an artificial intelligence or anything, but he doesn't have like anything super advanced about him. So like it's got to be something that he's done or he was involved in or something. Like those are the only things that you can really logically come up with, I think.
Yeah, I think I would go to data first, whether it's
Yeah,
something hidden away in his.
yeah, like that seems kind of the most reasonable kind of thing. Um, have you played around a lot with his like internal programming?
No, I
Like
have not
it's a very
messed with his
fragile sort of
programming.
thing.
I would imagine I back it up weekly, because in the event that something happens to him, I probably could, um, you know, if I got a new frame or something.
You would know that you can back up things like that, but as somebody who's probably around robotics as a kid, um, you would also know that, like, theoretically, um, robots with more personality to them, and I'm not talking about like full personality, like AI and stuff, but like robots that are programmed to be adaptive, often rely as much on their individual hardware as they do their software. Um, and changing some like something in their processor, uh, could feasibly change how they think. Even if you put in the exact same one, it's just like it's not the same one. It might be the same model, but it wasn't the one that they were using. And it's like it's a really finicky thing, that's not entirely understood, but it's just kind of something you probably would have heard at some point if you were either looking into it after you left or like just because you lived with your father. Um, Backing up is good, but if he's like ever entirely destroyed or so severely damaged that his processor is damaged, it is likely that there could be some side effects to him even if you back him up. And it's also, something to consider when futzing around in his memory and stuff.
Yes. Um, I'm not that great with computers at this exact point, so
It's like maybe you
probably
just want to do a diagnostic, like, something
yeah,
non-invasive.
something that's not going to be like I'm going to tear his brain apart. No.
No, it's just like you let's say you pop him open and you want to actually kind of examine the sectors of his memory, like, Max, can you
Yeah.
kind of activate
Unaccounted
your
for memory partitions that are somehow,
yeah, like he'll activate like a sector of his memory, and it's like, okay, his auditory takes up like
So Series 7 is
12%
supposed to
here.
have this amount of memory. Why does this have less?
Yeah, something like that. You can like identify where these things are stored and so on. That's the sort of thing that you can do without risking damaging him. Like, feasibly, there could always be something you could trip, but it would have to have been something like specifically booby trapped, like something very unusual, and like that's the only way that any sort of even passive kind of scan could ever have any sort of harmful effect.
I personally like I'll do that tech, but as far as anything invasive, there's no way I'm doing anything like that
Yeah.
until I get up far enough that I get like the
Yeah,
rerolls.
or
in,
maybe you
Recall
find an expert.
that I can trust with his memory. Which
Yeah.
yeah, we know how that's going so far.
Yeah, trusting me with his memory banks might not be the wisest idea.
So
I got an 8 on diagnostics.
yeah, that's enough to determine that uh, his perceptive algorithms and stuff seem to be taking up a little bit more percentage of his processing than they normally would. Like, enough to get your attention. Like, all across the board, all of his perceptive sensors are like he's putting a little bit more processing power into that than you would think. Um, and he's got his data, like his memory data stores. And so like when you're accessing this stuff, it's like, Max, can you think about this or this? And it's just like, think about your maintenance, think about this, and it's like it's activating different parts of the brain, or the robot brain, sort of, his data core. Um, and you basically, you have kind of like a maintenance checklist that if you ask him to think about certain things, it will eventually, because of like the nature of what you're asking him, and because they're simple, and they're going to be tied to like pretty much everything, that that it will basically light up every segment
During
of
that,
his
eventually
memory.
I want to ask him if he knows anything about my father.
Yeah, that memories regarding your father pop up somewhere. This is not something you're trying to access, just merely kind of determining where they are in his data core and how much. Curiously, though, no matter how many times you go through the checklist, like, think about sensory algorithms, think about recent memory, think about command protocols, stuff like that. Think about like recorded experiences of this nature. Curiously, there is one sector of his memory that never lights up, and it's like a substantial sector. It seems to be taking up 43% of his data core,
Jesus.
and it somehow is just not being accessed
It's
by
a
any
large
of.
chunk of memory not to have anything hit it.
Yeah, it's very suspicious. Like, it's either like not linked to any of the words you have, or
Or
it's
it's
like
corrupt.
robot version of brain damage. Yeah, like corrupt. Uh,
Because like when you have a hard drive going corrupted,
yeah,
it marks those sectors not for use.
yeah. That's basically what you get. But that's pretty substantial. And yeah, I imagine you close him back up. Like, all of his maintenance is probably done on his, like, I don't know, his underside or something. Uh, And
we'll
you
have
want
to look into that later.
you want
but
to ask him about your father?
Yes.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes. If he knows anything about what my father was doing, because he worked very closely with him.
Yeah. So, what was your father's name?
Oh, I haven't even decided my own name yet, let alone my father's name.
Jericho.
Jericho?
Jericho.
No, I don't think Jericho.
Simon.
We're gonna go with
I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out
let's go
there.
with Quentin.
Quentin. Okay.
Isn't that a planet?
I don't. Is it? We have a Quen.
Yeah, we have Quen. Yeah. Okay, Quentin. Did do we have a last name to access in the database?
Now you're gonna ask my own last name. Actually, I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
I really should have. I haven't yet. Darn, I can't. All I can think of is Amaris, and I don't want to do that because that's like all that stuff from BattleTech now.
Yeah.
Victor will roll with that one.
Shoot. Why does Quentin Baldassar just stick in my head? Is that a game character?
Baldassar?
It's in my head. I've heard it somewhere. I don't know what it's from.
I'm not
Maybe
familiar
that's
with.
why you have your nickname. No one wants to call. Everybody calls you Baldy.
Is your last name Baldassar?
No, I don't want that.
Balthasar? Baldassar? Belsarius?
Go on. I'll come with one.
Okay. We'll switch to somebody else. Akron. Where did we leave you?
I believe I was going to go pick up the disc and possibly if I did, or not the disc, the key card. And
Yeah,
if
you
I
picked
did,
that up. And it's the morning now.
probably would have headed back as soon as I got back. Got up to her room first thing and used the card or listened carefully to hear if there's anyone in there. If there wasn't, probably have gone inside.
Okay. Yeah, we get this image of like the most unlikely spy ever. Sneaking up to this room. It's the middle of the night. The lights are still on in the hall, but they're slightly dimmed for, reasons. And like what sort of clothes do you wear? Like I think we've covered this before, but I want to kind of get a better picture.
Probably usually like a tan overcoat and some ruffled shirt and probably a ruffled pair of pants.
Okay, all right, yeah. So a generally disheveled looking individual. You look
Probably
both
walk
ways.
confidently up to the door.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Like you walk confidently up to 312, which was your room, and then you just sidestep to 313.
Exactly.
And you lean over, you look around both ways. I am not a suspicious person, and you slide the rectangular key in. You hear like you hear and feel kind of like the key interacting with the door, and then you just hear like a tiny little ding, like a little chime. The door opens and it clicks open. There are no lights on inside currently, although it is somewhat visible still. Like it seems to have some sort of ambient window or something on the other side. Like judging by what your own room was, like you had a fake window.
I would probably try to step inside, turn the light on, and if there's no one immediately pointing a gun at me or anything, shut the door quickly so
All
less
right, yeah,
intervention from the outside.
you shut the door and you turn around, you turn the light on. The bomb reads 7 seconds. I'm joking. I'm joking. One day though, it's the exact mirror of your room in 312. Like everything's on the opposite side. Right next to the door is the bathroom. I assume you kind of nudge that open to take a look.
Oh,
Just
absolutely.
to kind of clear. There is no dead Carthan in this one. like somewhere Twitch kind of shudders a little bit.
Instead, there's a lady in her bed now.
Yeah, there's actually two ladies in there. No, there doesn't seem to be anything on the counters in the bathroom. Like, it seems like pristine.
Said you
You
touch
move-
us. Oh, sorry. No.
You move further into the room, and everything looks clean. Everything looks made. Like, the bed is made. There's a closet on one wall. There's like a cabinet, that has kind of like a storage system for clothing that like compresses things and irons them and whatnot. There's like an entertainment center slash net access thing. Like, this is like the typical thing for every room. And then on the far wall, with blinds, like faux blinds, kind of 3/4 of the way shut, there was like a fake window with a fake like ambient sun on the outside. How do you proceed?
I'm probably gonna have to start seeing anywhere near where you would plug stuff in, if there's any kind of hard plugs. See if there's anything left around there. I guess just do a quick sweep of the room, really. If I can see anything that looks out of the ordinary or might have been left behind that may
Give me a luck
indicate
save.
Sounds good. If it'll let me, there it goes.
Man, you always nail it just at 14. That's really impressive.
I guess I got very lucky.
I think that's
literally.
the third 14 on a luck save you've rolled. Yeah, so give me a second. You don't find anything in the closet. You don't find anything under the bed. You don't find anything under the mattress, which really disappoints you. Nothing in the the nightstand. Like, you press a button, all the shelves pop open on the dresser. Nothing in there. And at last you make your way to your kind of golden area, the entertainment slash communication corner. There's a hollow, like a augmented flat screen with like hollow technology. There's a link up for net use, like where you could plug in a computer, stuff like that. And like, you are sure that if there is anything here that would lead you to whoever it was that was staying in this room, it would be here. Like, you're just convinced. You're looking around, and like, there's a mat on the table that it's like a mouse pad, but it's much thinner, much bigger. It's like you lay it out, and it's basically like what you put like a data slab on or something. There was one in your room as well. Like, you go through all the ports and stuff. Like, I assume you probably plug your CompPad in or something to just like browse like the network hookup, like see like what was the last device used here, like what is this connected to, stuff like
I
that.
was actually gonna ask you if I could do exactly that. So
Yeah.
that's perfect.
It all seems very thoroughly clean. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody has used this in actually like a suspiciously long time. Like, you're biting your lip, and like, there's no evidence, and like that lack of evidence is like starting to bother you. You unplug, and like, for some reason, you kind of you're sitting there thinking, and like, kind of as not a nervous tick, but like just something to do. You've got your hand on the edge of the little pad, and you're kind of playing with the corner of it with your index finger. You're just kind of rubbing your index finger against it, peeling it up and stuff. And you go a little bit further on one of them, and like your finger kind of touches something, and you're like, wait, what is that? And you sit up and you peel this back, and there's like a small little. It's hard to describe. It looks like some sort of data chip, like a really small one. It's not like hard plastic. Like it's a it's a flexible data chip. Like they can't really be broken or anything. You would know that these are like semi-disposable. They're bought in bulk. It's the sort of thing like you would use in your line of work is not necessarily like a burner phone because you use a compad for that, but like if there's anything that you need to use that you do not want to have traced back to you, this is the sort of thing that you would buy to like store data on. It doesn't store like a tremendous amount, but that's what you use it for.
Okay, I think I'm gonna plug that in and download it to my compad. As if I can download it to the compad, otherwise use the data slab. And then I want to put it back carefully, as no one knows I've tampered with it if I can.
Man, you are a smart cookie. Yeah, you plug it in, and it looks like it just contains a few files. One of them is a program, and it seems to be designed to spoof, like tracking locations, like basically their version of an IP address on the station. Like loading this program and running it would basically just start a scattering process of redirecting your net ID to other things that it can link with on the net.
Is there raw code on this thing, or is it like just a compiled executable?
It is a compiled executable.
I can't modify it, damn.
But I think it's feasible that you could potentially take it apart with enough time.
You know what? I have a better idea. Do I have any or access to any just like crappy injectable viruses? I'm going to actually inject their scrambler program with my own virus if I can.
Ooh.
Break it before I put it back.
Man, I want to say yes. You're the sort that would do that. We're gonna say roll a computer's check, and this is again not going to be a target number. This is going to be a strength. And we're going to determine how good of a it's a fairly decent one. Unless this person is like looking for a virus or they have like mega protection, they're going to be running this program on their computer, so it's already going to be past, virtually all their defenses. This could potentially do something. Like you basically just kind of pulled the pin from a hand grenade and stuck it under a corpse.
Yeah, kind of the idea. Gonna stuff it back in there and
you
quietly
stuff it back
leave the
in
room.
there. Notably, there are a couple files, like 2 more files on this thing. These seem to be like it's hard for you to even really determine what they are. Like it seems like they were in the process of being written. Even it might be code for some sort of program. Maybe they were just like different versions of the Scrambler program. But like these could definitely be examined.
Definitely gonna try to be decompiling them on my my home system, disconnected from all network connections while I do so to when I get back to my apartment.
Yeah, nice. All right, so I think we're going to say, you're going through this stuff, I want you to make one more computers roll.
Copy that. Yeah, I would definitely, if we're going down to my apartment here, I would, after I leave this room, I'm going to start trying to decompile these, so
Yeah, this is
see what they do.
you picking this shit apart. Oh fuck. Um, you can tell that whoever compiled this stuff is very good. These were kind of like backdoor programs that whoever this was working on. They just hadn't finished. They were gonna be little executables like this scrambling program. You think like somehow it slipped under this pad and got left. The person seems remarkably clean and careful. Aside from that, like if you hadn't gotten lucky with that find, like there definitely wouldn't have been anything there. Like they left no other trace. You're looking through this stuff, and you determine whoever it is very good. You are getting like kind of an idea, just a general idea of like their skill level and stuff. And because of your high roll, you notice something left in both like programs, sort of towards the end. I think you probably assume you recognize what this is because I think you probably do something similar. Like, do you sign, like put a little taunting signature somewhere in your work?
Actually, I don't think Akron would actually do that, but he's very familiar with the practice.
Okay. You notice. Let's see here. Yeah, you notice this. Towards the end of both.
It's Fred!
Fred?
that was his original call sign.
Fred
for the
still goes by
longest
that on
time.
Steam.
Really?
That's why I just thought it was hilarious. No, but
that's hilarious.
yeah.
Know that. I did not know that. I was just trying to come up with like the most.
No, I just thought that was really funny.
I was trying to come up with like the most
too.
presumptive leet speak thing I could find.
No, I'll actually definitely going to be copying that name to do some searches on it. Possibly ask around about it on some kind of backdoor forums tonight once I get back to my.
Yeah. So I think
Apartment is a
we're
secure
gonna
spot.
leave you, Victor, for the or Akron for the evening. Like you find this, and it's like a taunt almost. And I think you're gonna get a message on your pad, right? As we're kind of fading out of the scene here. I assume you click on it.
Am I still in the apartment when I'm clicking on it, or where am I?
Yeah,
or am I
yeah,
in my
you
own
are.
apartment?
You are.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna click on it then.
You click it and get the craziest virus ever.
It just has one sentence.
Assuming direct control.
Assuming control.
Oh my god.
I know what you're doing, and that's the end for Akron this session.
Oh wow.
Let's go back to Ray for one last time. Ray, it's not been a good day
It's
or
not
two
been a
for
good
you.
week / day
Yeah.
/ anything for Ray.
But you're alive. There's 4 punks who aren't. And judging by what you're seeing on the news, there's actually quite a few punks that aren't. It looks like D Block, the gang, got mostly destroyed. There's a report of extreme violence in D Block, as an abandoned apartment building, which was basically being squatted in. This is like the official kind of announcement by gangbangers. Was assaulted and then in the process torched. It caused a minor lockdown in the block so that fire did not spread. All in all, 13 individuals died of various species. It looked like most of them were associated with the D Block gang. A Block definitely is claiming responsibility for this. And there are pictures of this red-skinned Tarlin who's leading the A Block Dragons. He's got like an actual tattoo running down his chest. It's not like a Chinese dragon. Like there is a creature on one of the planets in the sector. I think, where is it? I think it was Glazar. Like they're pretty much almost extinct now. That are called dragons. They basically don't fly, but they're really voracious. He's got that like tattooed across his chest. He's got like ear piercings and a nose piercing and stuff. But he's like a really good looking Tarlin. He's the one that you saw in the news feeds before, and it looks like this power struggle has basically ended with A Block like just decimating D Block, and if any of the D Block guys lived, they're probably like bunking out and trying to find places in other gangs. It's unclear what the results of this are going to be for like the nearby blocks, but at least those D Block bastards are gone.
Yeah, at least they're dead.
And you're probably like compiling your like brief resume or something. Like this is probably going to be like entirely more formal than anybody on this entire station, but this is something I imagine you're doing anyway.
Yes.
Like these are my qualifications, and like whenever this guy gets it, he's God, yes, come work for me. The last person I had, their medical qualifications were because they inject themselves a lot. Like. Yeah, we leave Ray. She's like, got bandaged ribs. Her well-used submachine gun is kind of laying on a table beside her. She's kind of making her resume and sending it off to this medical center. Unless there's anything you want to do, I'm probably going to end it there for you. Last thing, we're going to just move back to Twitch.
I think I'm going to go with Quentin Masterson.
Okay, Quentin Masterson.
Another Masters.
Was it used before? What?
In roleplay? Oh, it was
Was-
Masters. Never mind.
Was it? No?
It was Masters.
That was Evan Masters.
You're Evan Masters' son.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is actually a really great place to. I did not expect this reveal to be coming so soon. If we hadn't had a flashback, this probably would have taken a lot longer. So we see. We have Max on the table, and you're asking him about your father. He gives you kind of like a sad. But then he turns and he links up with the data slab so he can project his memory into your data slab. Like you're not going to get a very good picture just from his projector at all. Like he can only project like an object, not a scene.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I bought the data slab. So if I sent him scouting, you'd come back and give me a better picture.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so you see like command prompt up at the top, like accessing memory, Quentin Masterson, doctor, and like you see like affiliate project listing and stuff, like what sort of projects he's on. He's like the Sirius 7 project, blah blah blah. And like you're just asking him like what the last thing your father was working on.
Yeah.
All right, it scrolls down like a bunch of files, like file headings, sort of, to access this memory. And the one it picks, I need to make sure I'm correct. So give me a second. It's simply labeled um, QG 1158. Uh, and like it's basically a recording from Max's point of view, and he's in a lab. You probably have actually seen labs similar to this, although probably not this exact one. This is like the place that your father worked. He's in a lab. There's like one other person in the background, working on something. They have their back to the camera. Your father has his side to the camera. He's working at a. He's like standing at a computer. There's like a row of like racks with other Sirius 7 bots on them. But like Max is on the floor, and there's like some no addendum. He is on a counter. There's like some disassembled pieces around him, um, and like this seems to be some sort of almost clean room. Like they're not wearing clean suits or anything. This is not like a static free environment, but like it's really clean, and there's like a glass wall just on the other side of your father's computer where like obviously somebody could observe. Um so so your father turns around and interacts with Max. Are you the one that gave Max the name, or did your father give him the name? How did that come about?
I think I did.
Okay.
One day,
So
it just seemed to be that he needed a name, and I was probably like, I don't know, 8 at the time. Well, no, it can't be that early, because it wouldn't even be a Series 7 then. So,
yeah.
call it
Like
like
you just
14 or so. Said I
Okay.
named that.
All right. So he's like ASD 12, please please exit debug mode, and like there's like an affirmative from Max. Your father turns and it says uh Faris, are you ready with that data hookup? Um, and the person turns around. It is a very tall, slender, like female Vurin. Uh, she nods and she replies using a translator. Yes, Doctor Masterson. Um, she comes along and she hooks something up to Max. Only part of this is viewable. Uh, they they go back to working on their screens. Somebody enters the room. Uh, he does not appear to be a scientist. Like he's not dressed like them. You would like not necessarily recognize this person, but you would recognize like the bearing of this person and like how they're dressed is likely somebody from the Tenkai Corporation itself. Like you probably saw them enough when you were visiting your father to know like, oh, those are people from the Tenkai Corporation. He's like in a suit with glasses or something. And and this guy comes up to us as well. Is the data retrievable? Um, your father looks at him and like you can't see his face, but like kind of from the set of his shoulders, like he seems to be a little bit anxious. And he says, we're trying. There's heavy corruption given the ionization event, but I'm pretty sure that we can get, and like he just basically gets interrupted. The guy says, "You've been at this for 14 hours, Doctor. We have to have this information. You have no idea what this means. No more excuses. If you will not get us this information, you will be removed from the project." Like your father basically continues on with like assurances that that he will, and he's like, "What proof do we have that you can even access the data to begin with?" And like your father activates a hollow portal, like a hollow imager, and it seems like it's running through Max's own memory, and like displaying it out. And what you see is like an image of a star system. It seems like Max is on the hull of a ship. Like you see a planet in the background. Um, you see like an asteroid belt almost, kind of like in the distance. And in the picture, this is something that pretty much everybody's familiar with the design. Is a quantum gate. Like they've all been inactive and basically just derelict, left in orbit around the planets that they were at for the last however long it's been since the Scream. It's basically a collection of parts that form a ring. It's not like a solid ring. It's like they come together to form it. This one seems to be in a state of somewhat disrepair, like most of them are. But what astounds you, Twitch, when you're watching this is like as the recording goes on, like you see lights start to flare in a circle, like growing around this thing, and all of a sudden, like it's in front of the planet. Like it's kind of in between the camera and the planet. So like through the ring, you're seeing the planet in the background. These lights like stop and become solid, and all of a sudden you just see black space in the ring, and there's stars. And that's basically where the recording ends.
Well,
That was pretty awesome, man.
So that was our extra extended edition of Stars Without Number. Let us do experience.
yay!
Sorry, I wasn't able to really get a chance to go further with the investigation, but I figure I had to make some contacts and stuff at this point
It's
too.
fine. Not everybody, like I thought it was a good idea, but not everybody was able to just come up with a goal from where I put them. So I'm gonna say, because you guys all played, this is not normally how we do things. But again, like playing a background scenario where you have only a limited opportunity to affect things, and it's basically just for roleplay purposes to build the story. I'm gonna just give you guys experience anyway. Uh,
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I'm gonna say that for participating for like the 5 hours we were going,
It's been
It's
more than
almost
that.
11 now. Yeah.
yeah, you definitely get 400 experience. That's just for everybody.
Okay.
I know one of you has basically completed a goal. It's just it has to be picked up. That's the parts with Twitch. Was there any? Let's go down the beliefs. You made quite a lot of rolls today, Akron. I am tempted to say that you made a role in the belief of unrestricted technology. Do you think you have like a specific instance? Like there was a lot. Like you were pursuing this person, uh, that hacked your system. So like in some sense, any sort of movement towards like finding them and protecting Sarah kind of strikes me as is fulfilling that belief in unrestricted technology. Do you feel the same way? Do you have anything specific that you think might like cement that?
Well, I'm hoping that the connections I'm establishing with this hacker group might not necessarily get completely wiped away whenever we pick the flashback back up.
Oh,
because
no, they certainly will not be wiped away. Like
I'm hoping
you
that
are
maybe they can
going to
assist me
have
with some
these
of my.
connections that you have built in this session.
For what it's worth, I'm hoping that they might be able to assist me with some of my longer term goals as I get more resources, perhaps. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's
that
something
is
you don't have to worry about.
kind of thrown in towards it.
So, do you think you fulfilled your belief? Did you make a role in the belief of unrestricted technology?
Certainly unsecured technology, but I'm trying to think here. It's that's a really hard one to say which way on that way. I mean, I'd almost be willing to say yes, but at the same time, I'm not 1,000% sure, so I don't want to overstep. Whatever you think, man. I'll let you make the ruling. You're the GM. It's totally cool.
I'm gonna ask you one question, and we'll decide it from there. When you were pursuing this hacker, notably you did it in a very roundabout way. I think it was very intelligent, and you were I think you were going for resources instead of just directly trying to track this person down. Were you doing this because they hacked into your system and they were a danger to you, or B, they hacked into your system and they were a danger to Sarah?
I actually B, so yeah, I think that would definitely.
Yeah. So add
I didn't
another
even think
400.
about that, but yeah, B is definitely the motivation. I will say that.
Oh, and does that put you at 1450?
Yes,
Poor
it does.
Victor is 50 experience from level 2.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
If I finally do level up, I'm gonna try to see if I can get security 0 from practical experience. I'll let the talk about that with you at the time.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
see about that.
We can't be level 2 because it's in the past.
Yeah. Well, I'm willing to retroactive some things.
Well, his belief is in unrestricted technology. He also restricted Sarah a couple times.
He did that,
Just out
but
of pure
it wasn't.
note, but
If he was doing that because he was worried that he would be harmed by her reaction, that might be a thing. But it kind of came across to me as he was doing it to protect her.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was trying to.
So it's not that you have to act in accordance with your belief the entire session. You have to make a roll as a result of your belief at some point in the session, and that definitely happened. So he might have been contrary to that, arguably, when he restricted her, but I think he certainly he could have just ignored this whole hacker situation and done something else, but he didn't.
I will say that I didn't. What was I gonna say? Something I was gonna say and completely slipped my mind. I feel like an idiot now.
Yeah. So you're doing pretty good. Not necessarily on credits.
Yeah, that's certainly running
Wait.
low.
Wait a minute. You got your program back. Were you going to siphon off some credits from the taxes in the docking fees? That was basically what he handed back to you. He basically told you that he didn't want to profit from your genius.
I totally would do that, but I'm probably gonna wait a couple of weeks for the smoke to clear with the other guy before I attempt it. Then I'm gonna probably start it up.
Well, the thing is, you would basically have these credits when we start the next session because we're going to be starting a month later.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I could definitely say
our
I would.
Current the live timeline when you're in the train car takes place almost 5 weeks later.
Oh yeah, then they probably would have started by then. I'll probably
Yeah,
start,
so let's just have you make a roll here. Let me try to come up with what you're going to be rolling. Depends on how you want to do this. Do you want to siphon it off over time in small amounts, or do you want to go for some sort of big score? A big score is going to be siphoning off an entire tax or docking fee for a ship, or maybe like a couple ships, or are you going to be like siphoning off a small percentage
The
and
smallest
then
amount
over time?
possible. The smallest and most gradual amount possible.
Also, well, yeah.
What?
I was gonna say it's more trackable in. There's more transactions for small amounts, but there's more. It's more obvious for a big amount, but there's only one.
Are you gonna scuttle off those spare
Transaction.
pennies that get
Yeah.
lost?
Yeah, it's like I think those are all valid points. You're definitely going for the long-term thing though, right?
Oh yeah, the long term, very small scale, blends in with
All
the
right.
other expense reports kind of deal.
I'm looking under services to see if there is a docking fee. Like, ironically, there is not. That seems kind of stupid to me. I am going to briefly go to the Starship section just to make sure. Otherwise, I'm just going to make up a number that makes sense.
In general, like, but I put, like lifting things in my background. Mostly I would like over order parts and take the spares, that sort of thing. Little things like
Ooh.
that don't get noticed as much. Kind of the behavior of Akron in general, I think.
Yeah, I think that fits you.
Do the things that don't get federal marshals or intergalactic any kind of security force wanting to track you down.
Yeah.
Other than the mad AI you're building, of course, but that's a whole different story.
Starship maintenance and repair. Okay, this is going to give me a better idea. Okay. Like a full docking fee to me for like the standard kind of freighter that's coming through. Looks like it's going to be on the order of like 200 credits. Like, do you want to siphon off a portion of like all of the ships docking at docking platform D for like a period of 2 weeks?
Yeah, I could do that, or I could even go smaller and just have it deposit like 1 credit off of every ship that lands for the next month, or something along those lines.
Well, you would know that you're not going to get a whole lot of credits from that.
Oh yeah, the lowest. Well, I'm still willing to go the lowest risk possible.
I think any sort of gradual transaction is still going to present sort of the same risk.
Oh yeah, it will.
Let's see here. All right, here's the first roll. Roll. Let me do one minor calculation. All right, I'll roll this one. Ooh, that's a good roll. One secondary roll.
Oh, out of 140, that's not so bad. If it's pi numbers are a good thing.
All right, will you please roll me 1d14?
Ooh, I wonder what kind of roll that is. Let me roll it here.
Okay. Almost done.
Ian, I want you to roll your physical 140-sided dice. It's almost a complete circle. Sweet sphere.
Yeah.
Actually make like a crazy 100-sided dice is pretty much just a ball. I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, they do. It's basically just like a squared off circle or a squared off sphere. It's the kind of thing that I think would be a pain to roll. Can you imagine how long it would take for that to stop?
All right, Victor.
Yeah.
They put an end to your scam on the 8th day. But let me just do one last thing. You make 720 credits.
Oh wow.
I was basically saying that you were siphoning 10 credits a ship. It's like
Nice.
like 1/20th the actual docking fee.
I think 122 ships landed. Is that what that
Yep.
roll was up?
Yep.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, you got really lucky with that roll, man.
Oh yeah,
So mark down 720.
will do. That's awesome, man. Thanks. Let me put that in here. I actually have money. That's the first
Yep.
time in a while.
All right. I think we're done with Victor. Moving to Ray. I would say you most certainly fulfilled your belief. Would you agree?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, so add 200 for that. And add your 400 for the session. Yeah, unfortunately, you didn't make any money, so you didn't make enough money to pay for Emily's care for a month. But like, you know, we're basically treating it as you're getting by. Is there anything left unresolved with your character?
I don't think so.
You-
I guess
you-
this is paying for the week I said I paid ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we're not going to be tracking this stuff like your debt per week too heavily like in the prequel weeks. Like, it just I'm not going to do that. It's not even going to be that much of a factor once you guys actually get paid for your first job. So don't worry about it.
Oh, what was that guy's name again? I'm just gonna make a note of it.
Which guy?
The head hacker guy.
Okay.
That I contacted, so I have that down.
That was I think it was Bracken. Brecken. Was that it? I have it written down. Bakren. Bakren. Dwarven male loadmaster. Ironically, working for the same port authority that you hacked into.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I got it marked down here because I figured he might actually come back into play after our current
Yeah,
mission
well,
is
I mean, like,
done.
one thing that I'm really hoping that you all take advantage of, and I hope you are all pleased with, is I really tried to set up some sort of method of you guys making contacts that could be feasibly usable in the future for each of your characters. And I think everybody did that.
Oh
to
yeah, I
some
really
extent.
appreciated that, man.
All right, and On to Twitch. Remind me again what your belief was.
That I could rely only on myself. You told me I had to basically, I would have even offered help and take it, and I never got a chance to do that, so it probably doesn't apply.
Let me
I did
think.
make a large number of rolls to do things on my own, but
It's true.
I was never offered help to turn it down, though, so that probably doesn't apply.
I don't know that it's explicitly offered help, as opposed to you just choose to do things on your own and not seek
It
help.
applies a lot more in a group situation than it does in a
Yeah.
solo backstory.
I'm gonna say this one. The thing that kind of sinks it for me is like you doing it yourself, and like doing it solo. I honestly feel like that was kind of the tone of your entire mission to the apartment. I think if you would run into any sort of difficulties, like where like you couldn't get in or something, like there would have basically it would have occurred to you that like maybe you could seek help from this guy who had hired you. I really don't want to. I didn't want to put you in a situation where you just couldn't fulfill your belief. It seemed to me like I guess you probably didn't fulfill it. There would have been a chance, but things went a completely different way than what I had not planned for but prepared. But you do get your experience, and you know as soon as those parts come in, you're gonna get your experience for getting parts for Max.
Okay, then 1300 is where I sit.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty far along. You and Ray are tied at 1300. Marcus is at 1350, and Akron has taken the lead at 1450. He's only 50 meager points away from hitting level 2.
I know, I'm sitting there looking at that like, man, I'd have no idea how to level up or how many points I'm going to get in this system, but I
It's
can't
right
wait
there
to
on your
see.
sheet.
Yeah, see where it says skill per level up at the top? It says 3. That's how many points you get.
Oh, that's nice. Cool.
Yeah, you know, I'll walk you through that once you hit it.
Awesome. Looking forward to it, actually.
But I hope everybody enjoyed the session.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Oh, is one question I had is Akari's not gonna fall too far behind if we all level up to 2 and he's still at 1 for a
Akari
bit,
is
right?
still ahead of us on experience.
Yeah, you're only ahead of him in
He
XP
has
by
he
100.
met
Victor.
goals, and since all my goals are based around credits that we haven't earned
Yeah.
yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I
Yeah,
guess you're good. That's awesome.
technically
then.
he's 50 XP higher than Ray and in Twitch.
I'm just worried we were gonna leave him in the dust with that. I'm
Nope.
glad that everybody's
No,
synced
do I
up.
get to
Then that's
fulfill
perfect.
get parts for Max now, or do I actually pick them up first?
You got to pick him up first.
Oh, darn. Well, I free up a slot, but
because you know, I would think that it would occur to you that like it's not complete until you get the parts.
yeah, probably true.
Are there any questions, comments, concerns, things that I could be doing better, things you want to like? Maybe not even things that I could be doing better if you don't want to approach that angle, but like things you guys want to see more. I try to delve into people's backstories a little bit more this time. Like even I know we were doing backstory missions, but I was trying to ask a little bit more in the way of questions. Is there anything you guys want to see more of?
Alien life forms.
We'll definitely get to those. You might have to. There's a chance of seeing those on Centron. I honestly do have something prepared that really could be up your alley after the first mission.
Definitely gonna be.
I think you'll get a kick out of. But Centron's fairly tame.
As soon as this mission's over, I know I'm going to be suggesting the group go look for either disruption stuff or other horribly bad mail tax that you guys probably won't want to look for. I'll have to probably sugarcoat it and list something else that's in the area that has what I'm needing.
How about you, Twitch? You have anything you want to see more of?
I very much enjoyed Max's antics.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like it's hard for me to develop a personality for Sarah right now because like she literally has no personality. I'm trying to remember to at least have some sort of interaction with her so things will seem to evolve. Max, I just have to remember that he's there and that he's very fun to kind of role play.
Oh yeah, I want to interact a lot more with Max myself once it present time
Yeah,
catches back up.
I think we've got like a really brief flashback to the cabin really quick and like Max is seat belted in between Twitch and Akron.
I'm thinking it might be a good idea once timeline's caught back up to see if I can get Sarah to start talking to Max.
Oh god. I think when Twitch lets out this blast of vomit, like Max, you can probably see his optical sensors just tracking it across the room. He just roar. Yeah. One thing I know that Akari told me that he was hoping that you guys would do soon. And I think he's actually put it in his goals. Let me see.
I'm kind of
So,
picturing Max like a DRD right
yeah,
now.
something to keep in mind. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are itching to get off planet and go see the universe. I'm personally hoping that you guys stick around for a few more sessions on Centron. There's certainly a
I'm
lot to
liking
do.
Citron quite a bit.
One of Marcus's goals is get set up in a new base of operations. Somewhere on Centron or something. Like it doesn't have to be like a base or something, but like perhaps with your earnings, maybe you guys rent an apartment. I know you're probably not moving in with Twitch. Twitch might not even move out of his apartment. Who knows? But like maybe you guys set up a freelancer office where you guys
We
can
should
get hired.
we should totally buy a junker spaceship that can't fly that we need to fix and leave us there for a while.
A fixer-upper that you use as your land base.
Exactly.
You still need land to put it on.
It could be floating. You guys could basically live on a house starship boat.
It has to be airtight then
Great.
first.
Well, yeah. I mean, assuming that it's in some sort of patched condition, it could probably do it. Well, we'll see. Like,
You then
I
have to do
think-
maintenance in space.
yeah, that I think the session after you guys finish this first mission is gonna be really interesting because you're gonna have some money in your pockets if Oliver doesn't get killed and you guys don't get killed. And you'll at least have levels to do
That
it.
would be so sad if we just died immediately in the next
Yeah,
next session.
yeah.
Saddest thing ever.
Or what would be worse is like you get him to his place and like he's handing you the credit chip and then like he just gets vaporized by a sniper. Who knows? So yeah, I think you guys will have some fun. And I definitely have some prepared things involving
it's
creatures.
kind of a side note, and I probably shouldn't ask for it, but do I get more experience points for getting Tankai Corporation parts compared to random parts?
You don't get it now.
Well, yeah,
But,
until I get the parts back.
If you remember our conversation, how the two goals can link together, you very well could. No spoilers, but how you go get the parts could mean something.
Yeah, probably.
Depending upon the precautions you've taken. So, I guess, we've gone on long enough. I will talk to you guys all on the forums, and we will continue next Sunday, if
Cool, man.
everybody's okay with that.
Sounds great to me. I'm going to pop up to Flight Alpha probably and get a few rounds of Star Citizen in if anybody's up for it, and I will see the rest of you guys next Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess I'll join you for a little
All
bit.
right. Night, guys.
Okay.
Thanks
Catch you later, man.
for giving most of your Easter Sunday to Stars Without Number.
That was a lot of fun, man. I'm glad we had an extended session of it
I'm
here.
gonna
It was
stop the recording.
really cool.